The only way to fix it is by telling people the truth and reading them in, as they say in Washington. Read me in to what my government is doing with my money and my name. And if you won't do that, then at a certain point, like, how is it not justified to try to replace the government? Like, that actually is tyranny. What's the other definition of tyranny? I don't, so they're really playing with fire. I don't want revolution. I can't stand violence. Civil war is the worst thing that could ever happen. I'm not calling for any of that. I'm merely saying that's going to happen at some point if they don't make good on the core promise, which is it's your country. It exists for your benefit. You have a right to know relevant things. You can't just be dismissed with the back of the hand and called names. Keep that shit up, and it will get really ugly. That's my
in your series. Do you dispel some of the sort of madder conspiracy theories? And I'll give an example, which you may or may not agree with me as mad, but there's been a raging conspiracy theory ignited again by what's happened in Gaza, that Israel was somehow implicated in 9/11. It was in their interests for that to happen because then it would lead rage against all their enemies in the Middle East and so on. And yet, of course, if you look at the people who died, at least I think 110 or more people who died that day were known to be Jewish. It is estimated maybe another 80 were Jewish, which meant that about 10% of all the victims that day were likely to have been Jewish, which would seem to dispel the suggestion this was some Jewish thing that they had been involved with. But do you tackle that kind of conspiracy theory in the series? In other words, as well as exploring stuff that you think needs to be highlighted and exposed and we need to know more about, do you also dispel stuff which has been allowed to rage around for nearly 25 years now and kill that off?
Well, it hasn't so much been allowed. It's actually been